What do you think?
Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, when Mike talk. One of the things I think it just shows a lot of investment to basketball and here in athletics here at USD, and really excited to be able to welcome you guys to this amazing facility. And yeah, in my 2 weeks here, this has been phenomenal.
I'd say, just to echo Coach's sentiments, the energy, you could feel it at the ribbon cutting, the community, and the turnout for the ribbon cutting is emblematic of what this facility, and for us specifically in basketball, is a game changer. And I've been here 3 years now. Coach has been here a couple weeks, and we're already comparing notes. But we couldn't be happier with this state-of-the-art basketball performance center. And it's already making a difference in both of our recruiting, and obviously the returning players who've been here for a couple years know the difference, can feel the difference, see the difference. And the recruits that have come through, we had 12 official visits in the last 9 days. A lot of Power 5 prospects coming from top schools throughout the country when it comes to basketball tradition. And every single recruit and their families, the prospects and their families, were impressed with these elite facilities. So as Blanche said, it's a statement. It represents the commitment of the University of San Diego to athletics, and specifically to men's and women's basketball.
Bear with me, I'm reading these from my sports guy, so I'll be looking up and down, and we can both answer these separately, and gives me a second to refocus the camera. Coach, we'll start with you. On the men's side, what part of the facility are you most excited about?
Boy, that's a difficult question to answer because there are so many, elements to the facility, and for different reasons, they're equally important. And when you look at delivery for a student athlete, for them to have their own players lounge, locker room, film room, the athletic training space, as well as the sports performance space, and then for our offices to be upstairs. It really centralizes the experience for men's and women's basketball players, and also creates an alignment that's just ideal for the experience that student athletes are going to have at USD.
Yeah, to echo what Coach Lavin said, I think it does allow us great alignment for men's and women's basketball here as well, and just the overall well-being of our student athletes, and being able to have everything under one roof, from being able to pop into our offices, come down, get on the court, work out in the weight room, in the athletic training facility, and then have a safe space in their locker room here. I think it just does open a lot of opportunity for them and their well-being, as well as us being able to move our programs forward. And be able to recruit high-level national talent.
Just to build on that point, one of the thought is we know that athletes and teams are, built on routines, and this is going to allow our players, in terms of their training, to have ideal infrastructure, logistics for bringing about or bringing out their best as student athletes, because it's centralized in one area. Instead of having to go to different areas on campus, they can really drop in here, like the equivalent of the Colorado Olympic Training Center, right? The Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. But it's nice when you can drop in and in one facility be able to focus in on your craft, on your sport, which is men's and women's basketball in this case.
With that being said, with the sum of the parts that equal the whole here, how important of a resource is it, but also for the coaching staff to be able to say, talk to each other, and looking forward to other opportunities and discussions that you could have?
I think when you can work closely with your counterpart, I think it gives you a great energy and great alignment, and that's one of the things already. Just being in the building for a couple of weeks now, we've established great relationship, especially for me as a new coach coming in here. The men's basketball staff has been phenomenal in welcoming us in, and I think it's going to create a lot of competition amongst us, as well as continuing to elevate and build both of our programs. And then us all both doing it together, I think, is a really cool opportunity.
And Coach Alverson, we'll start with you, and then please give me a second reframe, because there's kind of a big question. The evolution of these sorts of centers that come about also are very important when it comes to NIL in the portal. You have brand new facilities. Somebody who's going to come here is going to be one of the first players on the Browns there. How important is that?
Absolutely. And Coach Lavin mentioned too, being able to have a couple of recruits in here the last week or so, and it does definitely elevate the way that we are able to operate in recruiting, and to bring in players from all over the country to come in and realize that USD is making an investment into basketball and being able to elevate the standard of excellence that we want to have here. And I think it does bring an excitement and an opportunity to really have our student athletes perform at a very high level. And with the landscape of college athletics now, it does give them a place where everything is centralized and located. So as recruits come in and we're able to bring in and show them this to start their foundation and start our culture here, I think this is a great way to kick it off.
Yeah, I'd say, in a sense, this is a relaunch. We're in a revolutionary era in college athletics, and it's the first time since I've been here where we have alignment, the word of the day, alignment with roster space and funding with the NIL and the revenue share and a state-of-the-art facility. When you put those three together with USD's tradition, being a world-class, academic institution, and our location in San Diego, it's a pretty difficult situation to not be impressed with if you're a student athlete or parents of a prospect. And so it does lift us, it elevates our programs respectively in terms of the competitive landscape that we're in. And so moving forward, we can be ambitious in a way where we now know we can compete with the top of our league and beyond. And so that's the goal. There's terrific alignment. Not going to be easy. It's never a flip of the switch in sports. It's a very complicated space that Blanche and I have to lead in. But now with those three, roster space, funding, and the state-of-the-art facility, we're really positioned for success.
Coach Lavin, you've been at some of the biggest programs known to college basketball. When you step into your office specifically and walk around these grounds, where does this sit for you as a head coach?
Yeah, it's the best facilities that I've ever been associated with. There are basketball programs that have renovated their facilities. UCLA now has a practice facility. They didn't when I was coaching there. Purdue has renovated as well, and Mackey Arena and practice facilities and whatnot. And St. John's has plans, for renovating their facility. But this is the best of any facility that I've been a part of in my 38 years associated with basketball.
And there's nothing easy about coaching. Coach always made to pick this, but what kind of bargaining chip is this for a kid, maybe fresh out of high school or in the portal, that's really looking to kind of build the program for years to kind of be a cornerstone?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of buzz around what USD is building, and I think in the combination of location, resources, and then also add in our facility, and we are immediately able to be in conversations that maybe we weren't in the past. And I think that kind of the buzz around the community and nationally is that this has become one of the top jobs in the country. And it is no easy task, but I do think we have a really phenomenal opportunity to lay that foundation in the culture and create a little bit of interest. And once we can get them here, I really feel like they'll know we can raise the level of both of our programs here.
Coach Lavin, I'll ask you, just because you've been here a few years now, on a local level, coming off a year in which the other two Division I programs both sent the men's and women's teams to the NCAA tournament, how much does a facility like this close the gap do you think, in San Diego?
Yeah, it's a game changer for us. Building off what Blanche, just spoke about, you suddenly, have an opportunity in this transfer portal era to get involved. We're recruiting players from Wake Forest and Alabama, schools out of the Power Four conferences, and the players' feedback informs. Themselves, they're saying this is unlike anything they've experienced, and that's a good sign because they're coming from those elite programs. So recruiting is the lifeblood of any athletic program, and so if you have the ability to attract elite prospects, then you greatly enhance the odds, the percentages, the probabilities of being able to lift your program and be able to compete at a higher level. And there's a lot of elements to it. It's recruiting, then you obviously have to train your players, but having a facility like this allows you to get the optimal amount out of your players when it comes to performance, because they're going to be training in such an excellent place like this performance center.
Where do you see your program in 1, 3, 5 years from now? Where do you see your program 1, 3, and 5 years from now with this new building and with the opportunities that it gives?
Yeah, I think now we're in this era where it's really year to year. Unlike my previous coaching stops where you'd have a player for 4, even 5 years if they redshirted. But now you're going to see roster turnover season to season. And so you want to be positioned well when it comes to facilities, when it comes to funding. And obviously, San Diego is a world-class institution. So that's not going to change in terms of our location and the academic reputation of our school. And so now having these facilities, it allows you to climb at an accelerated rate. You can now build in a completely different manner than we've been able to in our first 3 years, because we have the elements that we're missing, that much of our competition had. So we're now more on equal footing, which allows us to climb. 3 years from now, we should be even better than we are today, because we're going to be better positioned. We're going to be able to, have even increased or enhanced funding when it comes to NIL and the revenue share. And this facility isn't going to be antiquated anytime soon. That might be 40 or 50 years from now before it needs a facelift.
Uniquely, I think for our program here at USD, we're very fortunate that we don't have as many players in the portal. We have a group of young women who want to be here and have decided to make the choice to stay, with 5 incoming freshmen. So for us, I think ours is going to be daily, built on the process of how do we continue to get better and improve while establishing our culture and also working daily to have our new style of play kind of come to fruition. And I think that's one of the things for us that we're going to be focused on is our culture and our chemistry and elevating the standard in which we operate. And then as we continue to build and grow, we continue to bring in talent. But it starts with us every single day working on the talent we have here and developing and getting better and looking to change how we approach every single day in our mindset. So, I think to Coach Lavin's point, like as we go on, like in year 3, we're going to be looking a lot different than we are this year. But it changes year to year, but it starts with your culture and your foundation.
Yes, most of you guys were saying about any kind of seeking the. Well, you guys just came into the building, Losher and Siemens.
My immediate reaction was I was completely blown away. And Coach Lavin made a point too. This is one of the best facilities that either of us have been a part of, and I think there have been some renovations of some places along the line, and me specifically just at Georgia Tech, and I think to be able to have a standalone practice facility that everything is here, I think it separates us, and so overall the whole idea of what this facility represents and how it exists allows us to continue to build and grow. So I was immediately blown away with just the investment that USD as a whole is putting into this entire basketball performance center and the wellness center adjacent.
Yeah, naturally feel revitalized. It's surreal to come to campus and walk into these offices for the past 7-8 days, and such a departure from our previous situation over the past 3 years. And so it's still a situation where you're kind of pitching yourself and you can't really believe this is real. I mean, we knew it was in the plans. We saw the blueprints. We saw, the progress that was being made, did some walkthroughs at different stages of construction. But now to see it today after the ribbon cutting ceremony, it's revitalizing, invigorating. I mean, it's inspiring, and just really grateful is how you feel. You're grateful to be able to come to work in this facility at a world-class institution.
And it was a call to we get adjusted to this new facility. What's your favorite part so far on the day?
Did you go back?
Yeah. So I would say my favorite part is the excitement that's building around the direction that we're going. Obviously, the facility is beautiful and the investment is huge, but I think there's so much excitement around campus right now as to what we can really build. And was talking to our dean of students yesterday, and just how we can get our campus and our community involved. And I think there's really just a lot of excitement around what direction our entire athletic department is going, and that's been definitely one of my favorite parts so far.
Yeah, I mean, synergies. Again, I go back to the ribbon cutting ceremony and feeling that energy, right? The palpable energy, and seeing, the different parts of campus and our community come together, and to be able to share the wellness center, and also have a home here in our performance center. The combination, right? The intersection of the wellness center and the performance center is something that's going to deliver an elite experience for our student athletes. And I know that's what, from President Harris to Kimya to Coach and I, the alignment there of the most important aspect of the University of San Diego is delivering an experience that's elite and meaningful for young people, and trying to put young people on a positive trajectory. And this is going to play a central part of their experience as students at USD. Not that it is more important than the academic side, but I would say it's right there with it.
Oscar Sangat, your vision project is a bit fantastic. Isn't it that this is your first year you get to come to this program out of the super city?
I would say I'm beyond grateful to come for my first head coaching job, coming to a situation where really we are so poised to be successful. And I think we have all the resources, the facilities, our location. I think so for me, as a first-time head coach, coming into a facility like this, knowing the support behind me, right, and with Coach Lavin, that both of our programs can continue to excel and raise the standard of how we operate. But I'm very grateful to be in this situation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.